Hey Mark, how was Clayton Kershaw's bullpen yesterday, and how do you see his progression going?
I mean, I think it was a good step forward, and I think the most important thing right now is that we are going step by step. Um, he's able to throw his normal pregame or in between start bullpens, right around 34 pitches through all his pitches. Thought his command of his fastball was good. I think the breaking stuff at times was there. You can kind of see it kind of going in and out of as far as the effectiveness of it, but. I think it was another good step forward. We'll see how he comes out of it today, and then make plans for whatever that next step is. Might be another bullpen, potentially maybe to face hitters. Not quite sure. So I think right now every time it's more really read and react, and then progress from there.
And from your standpoint, what does his buildup look like at this point in the season? And is the priority to have him stretched out to being a starter, or kind of get him in there once he's feeling ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the progression is day by day, and we got to go. We go as far as his body, allows us to go and allows him to go, and we listen to Clayton and what, his desires and what he feels he can do day to day. So, as far as like a long-term build out, honestly, I haven't got that far. I don't think we've gotten that far. I mean, we all have ideas of what we want to do or what he would like to do. But we'll progress to the next step, which is hopefully early next week. It'll either be an extended bullpen or potentially hitters. And then, once he checks that and goes through that activity, we'll see how he comes out of it and move forward from there.
And with Walker Buehler, his name has been at the top of the conversation when it comes to the Cy Young Award. What has stood out to you most about him this season?
Hi, Austin. uh, Walker's been, unbelievable. I think the one thing that he's been is consistent, from the get-go. And I've talked about, his desire to go wire to wire and kind of, he's done a lot of great things in the playoffs. And what I think after last year, he really wanted to put together a good regular season, not just, a postseason, but a really good, strong regular season. And obviously, I think it speaks for itself what he's been able to do. I think he's shown, an ability to adapt. His game, his pitches, his ability to set things up, not just be all power all the time. He's looking for quick outs. He's looking for weak contact, but he can also still get the punch when he needs it. He's learning how to manage, pitching in through the course of a long season as well. But I think most importantly is like when we needed big games, he stepped up and he's given us those games. And, I think the main thing, not the main thing, I think one of the big things that, you can look at when you're looking at starters around the league is what he's done. I mean, I think he's gone, if I'm not mistaken, 6 innings, almost every start. Maybe there was one he didn't, and he's gone 7 innings, almost 80% of the time or into the 7th inning. So, I think it just shows his ability to get through lineups, to navigate, not always attack the guys the same way, give them different looks during at bats. He's having a pretty special season, and he's carried us in a lot of ways in that department. So it's been nice to see his evolution this year.
Next question is from Steve Henson. Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
There we go. Hey, Mark, 2 quick questions about Phil Bickford. What's been the key to him immediately becoming a reliable bullpen piece for you guys after underperforming in Milwaukee? And secondly, is developing a changeup what's keeping him from becoming a potential starter someday? Is he developing a third pitch?
Yeah, I think to the first one, I'm not, I don't want to go back too far on what he did or did not do in Milwaukee. I think the one thing that has been great for Phil is, when he came over, we acknowledged what he did well. We presented to him exactly what we felt he did well. And we just asked him to be himself on the field, be himself off the field, really assimilate yourself into our culture and what we do. And I think he's had a lot of veteran presence and veteran leadership down in that bullpen. Early in the year, it was with David Price, Corey, for a little bit, Jimmy Nelson, I think. So I think he had some guys that took him under his wing as well. And then we just said, just like I said, I think we asked him to go be himself out there. He always felt very convicted he could throw his fastball located down in the zone early in counts. He understood the way his fastball worked up in the zone, but he knew how he he knew how to effectively use his fastball to get himself into counts and get out of counts. His slider's been unbelievable. And so he's just put a really good run in. And like I said, I think the main thing is just challenge him, like, go be yourself, dominate what you do best, and trust that, we'll take care of you and put you in positions to succeed. And then I think as he started trusting himself, trusting us, we really challenged him to kind of take that next step, and he has taken it and just kicked the door down. And so, he's been great for us. He's a great guy to have on our team. Guys love him. And so he's been a lot of fun, and it's been fun to watch him perform and execute pitches in some big situations. And I think as far as the changeup, yeah, he's definitely fooling around with some changeups. He's been playing with it. He's thrown a couple here or there in the games, but it isn't something that we've leaned on quite yet. But it's definitely something, a work in progress. And potentially, yeah, I mean, I think he becomes a 3-pitch mix, and I think he gives him another weapon against the left-handers that I think whether he's starting or relieving, I think completely just adds value to his arsenal.
Thank you.
Next question is from JP Hornshaw. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, what's next for Tony Gonsolin?
Tony's going to throw a bullpen today, and then I think he's going to face hitters again on Monday here at Dodger Stadium. Probably do he did like a 1+ the other day in San Diego. He's probably going to do 2 full innings on Monday, and then we'll see how he comes out of that and move forward probably towards the end of the week and see where we're at. But he's been feeling really good. He threw the ball really well the other day in San Diego. He's going to do a little tune-up, normal kind of side like we do in between starts. And then get after it again on Monday to face hitters.
Thinking about the volume of guys who have dealt with injuries, some for the first time, some pretty long-term this year. And I'm wondering if you find yourself playing psychologist just a little bit more than usual, trying to help guys avoid the frustration that usually comes with injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's been an interesting year, I think, across baseball. I mean, it's not just us. So, but it has been interesting with the injuries. And yeah, there's definitely a mental, emotional component to having physical injuries, especially when they're prolonged injuries, whether you're trying to pitch through them or whether it completely shuts you down, say in Corey's case, for a very extended period of time. It's tough because, most of these guys and all these guys, the reason that they make it here to the big leagues is they're competitors first. They want to be out there. They want to be part of the team. They want to help guys win ball games. And being on the sidelines is extremely tough. And so I think the one thing we do a very good job of is showing them some empathy, understanding like where they're at, and know that like we have patience in the process. I think that's one thing that our front office does a really good job of doing is building depth so that we don't have to, rush guys back and rely on them before they're ready, completely ready. And we don't mean just ready from a volume standpoint, or, can you do, 3 or 4 innings or whatever? It's more like, can you effectively get outs at this level? Because games matter, specifically at this time of year. And I think that's the one thing that is nice is that we tell these guys, look, we have patience and we can wait for you to get healthy. Because when we do put guys out there, we want them to be convicted and confidence in what they can do and not having that slight reservation in the back of their head if they're completely back. We want to make sure that they feel completely healthy and ready to go, and they feel that their stuff's in a really good spot like it would be coming out of a spring training.
Next question is from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead.
Mark, there's been a lot of guys who've come in mid-season. When you have guys come in, generally what is the plan? And for yourself, is it like cramming for a test? And at what point do you start to evaluate and give them ideas and implement those ideas?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think a lot of it credit goes to our front office and our baseball ops guys. They give us a pretty good scouting report and breakdown of what guys do effectively, what guys have struggled with, things that we can exploit. And so I think we, and I say we, myself, Connor McGinnis, Josh Barr, Danny Lehman, the 4 of us, kind of really take a holistic approach. You bring the performance staff into that equation, you bring our training staff into that equation, and we take a holistic approach of like, okay, let's have conversations. I think first it starts with a lot of questions from all of us, trying to get an understanding of what makes guys tick. what are they like, or what do they like? Are they delivery guys, mechanic guys, they spin guys, they, grip rip type guys? Do they want to do certain things? Because sometimes there's ideas that they've gotten that they don't feel comfortable with. And I think this goes back to, again, is understanding who your player is and understanding on what their wants and their needs are. And I think we do a pretty decent job of that. We don't always get it right, of trying to get an understanding of what they want to do. And then we slowly just start, kind of building relationships around that with different guys from the coaching staff and the performance staff, and really trying to just build that trust and that network of how we do things here. And sometimes it's a little bit of a wait and see. Even in a Bigford's case, it was a little bit of, initial conversation. We understood, we kind of had our ideas, but you want to see them go out. We want to see them go out and, perform and kind of see it for yourself as well. And I think guys just really, at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do well? And really try to hammer that home. Let's really hammer what you do well to start, and then we can build from there. And just trying to lay that foundation with guys of, we're in this together in more of a partnership or a collaboration. It's never about like, we need you to do this, we want you to do this. Because guys have their own opinions, and we really have to take what they feel they can do and really put a lot of weight in that. And then I think we build from there. And like I said, I think our guys, we've had a lot of pitchers in this year, guys that we didn't even have in spring training. And I think one is to the players that welcome guys in coming in and their input and their, conversations back and forth on the field. And then I think our, from a staff level, again, I think we do a really good job of, or at least, I guess that sounds a little promoting, but I think we as a group feel really confident in each other's abilities, whether it's Connor doing stuff or Danny doing stuff or Josh doing stuff or BMAC and Trav. We have trust in our process on how we go about getting guys better and executing on the field.
Got time for one more. Go ahead, Fabian.
Hey, Mark. Now that you got a chance to work with Scherzer for a month or so now, what's his game planning and preparation look like, seeing up close as pitching coach?
It's intense. He said it from the beginning. Again, it's like asking questions. How do you want to prepare for starts? And he's like, look, I do my work, you do your work. Danny does his work, catcher does his work. We come together and then let's have it out. And he wants, he wants disagreements. He wants to know like everybody's thoughts. But he studies a lot. He has his, kind of his process that he goes about, things that he looks at, a lot of numbers and charts that he looks at that, he's brought with him over the years from, the years in Washington and probably before that. And now our guys have built that out for him as well. So he has kind of that information. And he studies hard, and he's got a really good understanding. It was nice and unique, because he pitched against the Phillies, and the Houston Phillies and the Mets again. And so he had, obviously probably a better understanding of the Phillies and the Mets than we did. But then obviously as the things turned when we played San Diego, he leaned on us more. So it's fun to watch him study. It's fun to watch him or listen to him talk through the game on how he's going to, get into counts, set up guys, do different things, and then obviously try to get guys out. So it's been fun to watch. Every starter we have, does a lot of work on their own. And then we all kind of come together, and everyone's unique and different in their own way. But he's definitely really prepared for starts. And he has a really good understanding of what he wants to do, from first time through to the, hopefully third or fourth time through.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.